on your phone for each transaction that happens. You are able to say, if there's a transaction that happens in the shop, my phone will alert me, right? And if by 10 o'clock, your phone is silent, something is wrong in the shop. These people are opening at 8 and no one has bought, your phone is not alerting you. They are pocketing the money, these people, right? So you then can say, hey, what's happening? Let me switch on to the camera. Let me see what's happening in the shop. Hurry. You see, there's lots and lots of people in the shop, but the cash register is not ringing. Something is wrong. What are these people doing in the shop? You are then able to call or you're able to go, right? And see, why are people in the shop and not buying? Why is my phone not alerting me of transactions? That's what the software, the system is able to do. And you can do this anywhere in the world. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be imprisoned by your business. You can run it anywhere. And that's what systems are there to help you. And there's systems for marketing also. You don't have to be handing out flyers everywhere. And to reach 1,000 people, you need to be here, Menlyn, Sandton, Clearwater, physically handing out. No, there's social media. I can reach everyone in the country through social media. That's a system for marketing your business. And that's what growing your business is. You are able to copy and paste your business, or you can franchise it out and it's able to run without you, and you can use technology. Here's a friend of mine, in fact, a mentee of mine. We have the same workshop. I'm saying the same thing that I'm saying to you. He hears me. Yeah, no, I hear you, Doc. It makes sense. Makes sense. He goes back, he doesn't implement. He runs a shop, a spaza shop in Soweto, right? He gets hit by a car, right? He's at a hospital. They're stitching his head. Paraguan. He sends me a WhatsApp. Hey, now I understand what you meant by systems and processes, because now I'm here. I have left people at the shop. I don't know what those people are doing. I can't see what these people are doing. I'm double stressed. And there's a pain here on my head of stitches, but there's also an emotional pain because I don't know what those people are doing at the shop. So if you don't have systems and processes, you cannot even afford to fall sick. You can't, because if you are sick, you can't make sales. And if you can't make sales, you can't make rent. That's a problem. Double stressed, right? I check on him after a week, right? I'm back at the shop now, it's empty. The people I left were stealing, so I had to close the shop, right? So you can't afford to get sick, you fall sick, you leave people, they steal from you, you come back, there's nothing left, right? Because you did not have systems and processes. Because when people steal from you, they're behaving like the snake and the frog. You are unable to pick it up early, and you are unable to prevent it, right? And as a result, they've stolen from you and the shop is out, right? So systems and processes are critical. Spark School, as an example. Stacy starts Spark School, right? Huge problem in education in South Africa, right? The story, some of us went to schools like this. We know this, personally. Stacy comes and says, I'm going to start a school franchise called Spark School. 2013, right? She opens. She finishes her MBA at Gibbs. She does an assignment on choose one critical social ill in the country and how you would solve it. She chooses education. She says, I'm going to come up with a school and da-da-da-da-da. She finishes her MBA. She says, now let me actually take this assignment that I had at school. Let me realize it into a life project. She starts Spark School 2013, 160 students, right? First year, 160 students, grade R 1 and 2 in Fendale, Johannesburg. By mid-2015, he had 4 schools opened with more than 1,000 students. From 160 students to 1,000 students and 100 teachers. This is what, 2 years later, right? 2 years later, she moved from 160 to 1,000. 2016, another 4 schools opened, right? So by 2016, within 3 years, there's 9 schools opened, 9 within 3 years, right? The intention to grow, right? And this is how it looks like, right? Some of, you probably have taken your kids to, or your kids are going to Spark School, right? Tuition at the time, 21,000 per annum, right? Other similar, Curo and whatever, 40,000, 50,000 per annum. What most parents are looking for, we want accessible, affordable, good enough education. We can't afford to pay 300,000. That goes towards paying the groundsman for the rugby grounds and what. We can't afford that. We just want our kids to just get good education, and this is how much we can afford, right? And that's how do they keep their costs low? Classroom, there's teachers, but there's some lessons that are done by a computer. Now, the biggest challenges has been scaling. Now, in 2017, they had 4,000 students and 450 staff members. 2018, they almost doubled from 4,000 to 7,000. A year later, 7,000 students, 700 staff, right? 7,000 is huge impact. Now, in terms of revenue, 4,000 students at 21,000, 84 million. The following year, 7,000 students at the same, I'm not even increasing the fees, at 21,147 million, right? Right, that's growth, right? This is what Stacy says. She says, I personally need to grow faster than the organization, right? Capacity. I need to grow, the organization follows me. So I needed to grow faster than I had to reinvent myself and my role every 6 months and stay ahead of everyone. You are not going to grow a business that outgrows you and you don't grow. If you don't grow, the business is going to come to where you are. So it's imperative that leaders of organizations are self-aware and willing to improve themselves. Again, increase your capacity, improve yourself. I have mentors and coaches, right? Again, to increase your capacity, you need mentors and coaches. I've built a network of people that I reach out to when I have questions or challenges. I love feedback and I'm always asking, what's next? What does the company need from me? Today, I am less operational. I am less in the engine room. I am more focused on the strategy. I am more in the bridge. What are we doing? How do we start leading our industry? Are we engaging other stakeholders? That's the language that you have when you are at the bridge, when you are at strategy. The problem is so big. In other words, the problem of education, of access to quality education is so big. There's room for multiple players. A big part of Stacy and Spark's success is the team she has built around her. Again, capable team, right? Remember we said an asset of value is the assets, the equipment, the classrooms, the schools, the infrastructure. It's the systems and processes, and it's a competent team. Now, if you have these three, it says that this frees her up to focus on strategy, but it also gives the business a growth foundation. Hiring the right people for that specific roles has been essential for us. You need to understand the organization, and it needs to get this right. At head office, we need two different types of people. One, they're able to build and improve schools. In other words, these are the people who are strategy, they think big. And two, there are those who need to be able to focus on operations and structure, those who are in the engine room. Scale is tough on people. Things break when you're scaling, and you want to break them quickly so that you can fix them. If you are too slow, you'll actually miss stuff, but it takes a very special type of a person who can operate at that pace. Right, so that's Stacy, right? As entrepreneurs, your job is to build a machine with systems and processes, assets, and a competent team that can be able to run and grow without you. I hope this is making sense.
It is making a lot of sense. Maybe some comments from our participants, your thoughts? Okay. Feel free to also use the chat box, but Dr. Rashid would seem, yes, you are making quite a lot of sense.
Okay, great. Second last, and then we go. So what I also want to touch on, we spoke about it earlier on, is the brand exercise. So when I did this exercise, for me, it kind of blew me away. And I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I won't be able to go through it, step by step in detail. But what I can do is I can sort of give you the exercise, and you can run that by yourself, right? So brand exercise, or what we call brand sprint. So a lot of organizations, they spend months and months. I mean, if you look at, for instance, F&B, they just rebranded. But that exercise took them almost years. It was not something that happened instantly. F&B rebranded, APSA rebranded quite a while ago. UNISA rebranded a while back. UJ rebranded when they were doing the whole merger of universities. Nelson Mandela University rebranded. Harvard University. So a whole lot of organizations. Telkom rebranded a while back into that circle with the thing. So there's quite a lot of organizations that have been rebranding. So when we went into a rebranding exercise, and we were doing our research, and we're seeing how other organizations are also rebranding. And a case in point, because we are in the education space, we researched quite a lot of education institutions, and we actually realized that they were also doing the rebranding exercise. And of course, other organizations that I've mentioned. And the question was, why? Why are they rebranding? Of course, you want to keep your brand refreshed all the time, but one of the things that we picked up is most of the previous brands, say for instance, an education brand, you'll find that an educational institution will have its logo, as an example, will have its logo with a book in the middle and maybe some flowers on the side and some whatever at the top, right? So that was their logo that they always had. And most of them have, with UJ, it's the two orange birds, sort of forming a book. UNISA is the flames. It's those simple flames. And we are asking ourselves, but why move from this book mascot type to this simple logo? And the biggest reason is most of the brands previously were conceptualized during the Industrial Revolution. And during the Industrial Revolution, most logos lived more on paper, right? There were logos that before technology was as immersed as it is now, most logos lived on paper. So it was a stamp, you put a stamp as your logo, right? So most brands were stamps and they lived more on paper. In the in the fourth Industrial Revolution, most brands are living on screens, laptops, tablets, phones. So because we are living in a tech-savvy world, people are always on their screens. Now, you want your logo to still be impactful on a screen. And what they then realized is actually, because most logos are going to live on screen, you want a simpler logo on a screen because it's able to be more effective than an old traditional clumsy and clunky logo on a screen, right? So that's why you see most brands are going minimalistic, right? They're reducing a whole lot of stuff and they're just going simple because a simpler logo is more powerful on the screen than a clunky, busy logo on a screen. So that's where most of these organizations, the reason why they rebrand. Now, what we're going to go through now is a summarized version of the exercise that they go through when they rebrand, right? So there's 6 things that they look at. They look at what we call a 20-year roadmap. Where do we see this business in 20 years' time? They look at their what we call why, how, what is the purpose of this brand? What is the purpose? What are we trying to achieve with this brand? They look at the values. What values do we want this brand to espouse? They look at the audience. Who's the target market? Who's the target audience that this brand is for? They look at the personality. What type of a personality should this brand have? They look at the competitive landscape. Who's out there and how have they positioned themselves? And how do we want to position ourselves vis-a-vis where everyone else is, right? So they go through this. So your 20-year roadmap, you look at where is this organization in 5 now, where we are now, right? Where do you want to see it in 12 months' time? Where do you want to see it in 5 years? Where do you want to see it in 10 years? Where do you want to see it in 15 years? And, most challenging is, where do you see your business in 20 years' time? What you can actually do is you can put your age here. You can say, I am 30 now, right? In 5 years' time, I'll be 35. Where do I want to see this business in 35? 10 years' time, I'll be 40. Where do I want to see this business in 40 years? I'll be 45, I'll be 50. Where do I want to see this business when I'm 50 years? Right, so it's easy here because there are a whole lot of things that we need to do now. We need to get the manuals ready. We need to get accreditation. We need to get a campus. We need to buy this. We need to buy this. So this is what needs to happen, what we need to work on now. Now, between next year and the next 5 years, we need to have another branch. We need to have a branch overseas, blah, 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 blah. You know your business. You need to put your goals, 5-year goals here, and then your 10-year goals. Then you are still okay. It starts to be tricky and hard with your 15 years and your 20-year goals. But you need to force yourself to say, this is where I see this brand in 20 years' time. Because, why is this important? Because if you don't have the signposts, if you don't have the goals that you're working towards, there's a chance that you'll go in circle and you won't reach where you want to go, right? So you need to force yourself to say, I see this brand in 20 years' time looking like this. But in order for us to look like this, we need to do the following things this year. We need to do the following things in the next 5 years. We need to do the following things in the next 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. So it's critical that you force yourself to do this. Now, when you start doing this exercise, like, oh yeah, sure, I hear, I'll try, but then you need to go towards what is the purpose of this brand. And a popular talk to watch is by Simon Sinek, TED Talk, Start With Why. There's a book that he also wrote, Start With Why. And in the talk or in the book, he's got what you call the golden circle. Now, the golden circle, he says most of the time, when we sell our business, right? When we sell our business, we start with what? I sell magwenya. This is how I do magwenya. Please buy from me, right? I do this. So we start from the outside in. So we start with what? And then maybe we go into how we do it. If we are lucky, we talk about why we do it. What he's actually saying is you need to start doing it the other way around, inside out, not outside in. You need to start with why, how, and then what. Why do you do what you do? How are you doing it? And what is it that you actually do, right? And he gives an example of Apple. He says Apple is, their tagline is challenging the status quo. We do what we do because we want to challenge the status quo. We happen to do it because we design our products in an innovative way. We just happen to make computers or phones. We just happen to make. So people are inspired by, why do you do what you do? Are you selling your why or are you selling your what? People are attracted to the why far more than they're attracted to the what, right? We all are selling magwenya. So what? Why should I care? But if someone says, I'm in the business of changing young girls' lives, I do it through manufacturing products, I just happen to make magwenya, right? Suddenly it changes how you look at this person, right? He or she has branded himself or herself as in the business of changing young girls' lives for the better. How do we do it? We just come up with unique ways of making products. For now, we're just making magwenya. You need to start leading with the why, not with the what. So the brand that you have with you, what is the why of your brand? Why should we care about this brand, right? So you need to be quite clear. At Laura, we are creating prosperous entrepreneurs. That's what we do, right? It used to be initially that we are trying to fight poverty, right? So our initial tagline was, we are fighting poverty. But we then realized, no. That's negative. Why can't we be positive? Why can't we create prosperous, successful entrepreneurs? Because we then realize, because no one goes to school to avoid getting an F. We all go to school to get an A. We are aspirational to get an A. We're not aspirational to avoid something. We are aspirational towards something. So we then rebranded to say, no. Our why is to create successful, prosperous, impactful entrepreneurs. How do we do it? We do it through programs that combines theory and practice. We just happen to be offering accredited entrepreneurial programs. But we are in the job of creating better people. We are in the job of leaving people far much better than we found them. That's our why, right? And that is crystal clear. So whoever comes and work with us, they need to understand that our job is to leave people far much better than we found them. That's our why. Whether it's through the books we write, it's through the workshops like this, it's through the events that we hold, it's through the mentorship, the why remains constant. Whatever we do, the books, the mentorship, the workshops, are they leaving people far much better than they found them, right? That's critical, that's the glue. So if somebody says, come, let's go into mining, is this mining leaving people far much better than we found them? If not, we're not going, right? So it's important that you crystallize your why, critical. Have your 20-year vision, have your purpose. Why are you doing this? And then the values, right? This is things that when you are not there, is the things, the glue that keeps your team together. What values do you want to leave with your teams? Here, 3 things. At Laura, it's 3 critical things. You need to have a developmental heart. So whoever works with us, they need to have a developmental heart. You want to be someone who understands that the hero of this show is the person that you are helping. It's not you, right? So you need to be developmental at heart. You need to be entrepreneurial at heart. You need to be somebody who loves entrepreneurship and innovation. But also you need to be a team player. Those are our 3 top values. When we employ people, when we partner with people, we look at those things. Are you developmental at heart? Are you somebody who is passionate about business, entrepreneurship, innovation, ideas, creativity? And also, are you a team player? Do you collaborate with us? So we're quite clear about the values that we want. When we employ people, we don't employ people who just bring the skills. We look at the values. Do these people share the same values as us, right? Yeah, sure, they're competent with qualifications. They're competent with experience. Great. But are they nice people to work with? If they're not nice people to work with, they are going to destabilize the culture that you're trying to build, right? So they're the wrong people, right? So it's important to be crystal clear about what are the values that you look for in a candidate, in a partner, in someone that you work with, in someone that you want to share this journey with. What are their top 3 values that you want them to have? Critical. What values does your brand espouse? So when you buy a product, there are certain things that you expect from it. Is it reliable? Is it quality? Is it efficient? Those are the 3 values that you want your product to have. Are those 3 values there in the product, right? So that's critical. Then the audience, who are you targeting? Who is the person that you want this product to talk to? Again, we spoke about this. There's no customer called everyone. So you need to have your targets. For us, our targets are aspiring entrepreneurs, people who are working but want to be entrepreneurs, and organizations that are in the entrepreneurship development space. Those are our 3 audiences, right? So those are the people that we are building this product for. Personality. Now, we all have different personalities. Introverts, extroverts, loud, this. There's different personalities. What personality do you want your brand to have, right? Is it a friendly? So if you were to move the slider, does it slide to the left or does it slide to the right? Is it a friendly brand or is it an authority brand? Is it a young, innovative brand? Does it move to the left or is it a matured classic brand? Is it a playful brand or is it a serious brand? So if you were to put a slider here, where would it be? Is it a mass appeal brand? In other words, is it a you-safe brand or is it an elite brand? Is it Is it a signature restaurant, right? So if you were to put the slider here, so a typical example would be, is this a BMW Mercedes-Benz, right? We know if it's a Mercedes-Benz, it's matured classic, it's a serious brand, it's elite. So the slider would slide, most of this would move to the right. On the other hand, BMW is, yes, it might be authority, but it's young, it's innovative, right? It's playful, it's not maybe mass appeal, but it's elite, right? So where, if you were to look at your brand now, where would this slide be predominantly? Will it be to the left or will it be to the right? Google, for instance, Google would be authority because they're the #1 search engine in the world, but they're young, innovative, right? You look at their logo, you already know by just looking at the logo, this is a young, what they do with their logo, they refresh it. During Mandela Day, you go to Google, it's a different Mandela thing. You know, they refresh, they keep on refreshing it. It's young, it's innovative, it's playful, right? You know, they play with a whole lot of, you know, concepts. It's mass appeal. Google is available to everybody. It's not a elite tool, it's available to everybody. So that's the personality of your brand. You want to be asking yourself, what is the personality that you want your brand to assume? But again, it's tied to the audience. Now, if we say our audience is entrepreneurs, people who are working want to be entrepreneurial, and people in the entrepreneurship space, this is the audience. The personality of the brand has to talk to the audience. You can't say we are targeting kids and the personality of your brand is serious. There's a disconnect between the two, right? So you want the personality of your brand to be in line with the audience that you're targeting. So it's critical that the two are in sync. So be very careful as you craft your brand or you rebrand, that you are crafting and rebranding it in such a way that the two talk to each other. And lastly, the competitive landscape, right? So in other words, here, are you modern, expressive? Are you falling into this quadrant? So modern expressive would be, if we were to look at institutions, Gibbs is modern expressive, right? So Gibbs is like the cool kid in the block, like, you know, this new cool looking kid that's Gibbs, right? Expressive and modern. Who's modern reserved? Tux is modern and it's reserved. Maybe here it will be Gibbs, UCT, maybe Verts here. Here, modern but reserved. Take is my alma mater, my institution. Tux is modern, reserved. They're not interested in being out there, everybody knowing about them, blah, blah. The only time I knew about Tux was in matric when I was about to go to university, right? Prior to that, I didn't know Tux, right? Way back, right? But I knew there's Verts, I knew there's UCT, expressive, modern. Tux, they know what they're doing, but they're very reserved. And you also have reserved classic, right? And then you have classic expressive. So you need to look at who's out there, plot them here, and then decide where do you want to plot yourself? Do you want to be modern reserved, modern expressive, classic expressive, classic reserved, right? You need to decide where you want to play. So once you have plotted your competitors on this quadrant, you then need to decide where do you want to be. Right? It gives you a sense of how you want to position yourself, right? So those are the 5, 6 exercises that you need to do. The 20-year plan, the purpose, brand purpose, the audience, the values, the personality, and the landscape. Right? Are we good? Are we together?
We are good and together, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. I have 2 minutes left. I am not sure where Muleboheng is.
I'm
Okay.
here. I'm very much here, Dr. Roche.
Okay. So should I finish in the next 10 minutes or what should we do?
You know, I think we can maybe pose the same question to the participants. I'm happy to stay longer. I do, though, understand people might have commitments. How much longer do you require?
10, I mean, the last sections on leadership, I might need 10 minutes. And then I'm
10
done.
minutes. That should be sufficient. Is everybody okay? Okay, happy to stay longer. Rest of team, yes, please continue. Okay, so I think Dr. Roche, maybe proceed for anybody else who might have to come off. They will in any case receive the recording. So you may proceed, thanks.
Awesome, thanks. So the last section is a soft topic. It's a leadership topic. You know, it's something that I think as entrepreneurs, we don't think about most of the time. We think we look at ourselves as entrepreneurs more and less as leaders, right? But what you need to understand is as your business is growing, you are transitioning from being an entrepreneur and you are slowly becoming a leader. You now need to start assume leadership qualities and leadership skills, right? And here I want to talk about the 5 levels of leadership. And I'm gonna go through it quickly, right? But what this levels basically, it's sort of like a roadmap to your leadership growth. You are here, and then you need to move here, and then you need to move here, and then you need to move here, and this is the pinnacle. This is the top as a leader. So we're gonna take it one level at a time, so I can show you how to move from the first level to the last level as a leader. Now, level 1, so there's 5 levels, right? 5 levels. So level 1 is position. Now you start your business, you run your business, you are doing the work yourself, you are working in the engine. We spoke about it when we were doing systems and processes. You are working in the engine of you are the business. You are not employing anyone, you are responsible for yourself and your customers. And the business grows, and as it grows, there's more orders coming in. You are Jane, you know, there's 50 people who want their hair done, and you need to employ more people, right? And then you do employ 2 or 3, 4 people. Now, by default, due to the position that you hold, by default, you are a leader, but you are a positional leader. You are a leader purely by the position that you hold. So people come and they work for you because they're looking for jobs. Unemployment is high in South Africa, so they come and they work for you. So by default, by the position that you hold, because you are the founder of the business, you are their leader. They follow you because of the position that you hold, right? Not because they have to, not because they want to, sorry, but because they have to. Because if I don't follow you, I don't have a job, and if I don't have a job, I don't have a living, right? So position is the entry level, right? You have employed people, there's 1 person working for you, 2 people, 3 people, right? They are there not because you're an amazing leader. No, you're not an amazing leader. They're there because they're looking for a job. So they follow you because they have to, right? And here, purely because of the position, you have the rights, right, granted by the position to issue instructions, right? So they execute those instructions because of the position, right, that you hold. But the question therefore is, if they had a choice between 3 or 4 or 5 people that could lead them, would they choose you, right? If they don't choose you and they would choose someone else, then it means you were never their leader in the first place. They were just there because they needed a paycheck. So they're working for a paycheck here, not because you are this inspired leader that they will move mountains for you. No, right? So you by default are a positional leader, right? People who make it to level 1 may be bosses, but they're never leaders. They're not leading anyone. They're not there because you are leading them. They're there because they need a paycheck, and they execute whatever you say they execute because they need the money. So you've got subordinates, but not team members. So you always rely on, if you don't do this thing, I'll fire you. If you don't do this thing, these are the consequences. Do you know who's the boss here? Maybe you guys forgot who's the boss here, right? If you always have to remind people who's the boss here? It's like Margaret Thatcher once said, if you have to remind people that you're a lady, there's a chance that you're not a lady, right? Because you're not behaving like it. Because if you behave like a leader, people will know it and they'll see it and they'll feel it. But if you have to remind people that you're a leader, maybe chances are you're not behaving like one, right? You're behaving like a boss. If you don't do this, I'll do this. If you don't, then they follow because they are threatened because you're a boss, but not a leader, right? So here you are there because of the business is growing, and by default, you have to employ people, and therefore people have to follow your instructions, but not because people like you, but because, you know what, I need the money, right? But this is an opportunity. The fact that you have 2 or 3 people who are reporting to you and you're backing instructions to them, it's an opportunity for you to develop your leadership skills, right? You are now into the game of leadership, right? You want to move to the next level, you need to then start reading leadership books. You need to then start listening to leadership podcasts, for instance, attend leadership summits and conferences. Define what your leadership style is. As an introvert, what is your leadership style? Do you default towards micromanaging, or do you default towards giving people instructions and giving them space and the freedom to execute? What style do you adopt? Or what style do you prefer? You know, you need to shift from position to leadership. You need to move away from I'm the boss here, you know, to the, you know, being this potential leader that you can be. Focus on the vision. Guys, we are here, but this is, remember we did the 20-year vision in the brand sprint? This is the vision. This is the purpose. This is why we are, all of us here. We are here because we want to develop and come up with amazing entrepreneurs in this country, because by so doing, we'll have a prosperous society. That's why we are here. We are doing this for that. Shift from rules to relationship. Shift from reminding people you are the boss. If they don't follow the contract, they've signed the contract. If they don't follow it, you are going to crack the whip. Focus on relationships. Build relationships with your team members, right? Number 7, initiate contact. So you be the one who initiates contact with your team members. You go out there, you talk to them, you go out there, you build those relationships, right? Don't mention your title or position. Learn to say, guys, I don't have all the answers. I'm sure all of us here, we can come up with a solution, right? Learn to always, you know, be someone who you are able to bring your team into certain decisions that needs to be taken. Find a coach, a leadership coach, or a mentor. If you do this, you'll move from level 1, you'll move to level 2, which is permission. Now here people follow you because they want to, right? You're now at level 2. But for people to say, I like this guy, I like this lady, I want her to lead me, right? It takes a certain kind of thing. One of them being your ability to connect with people. Guys, if you don't like people, don't lead, please. Excuse yourself. You know, for you, people are a frustration, they're a headache, people are a pandemic to you. Stay away from leading people, right? Because leadership is about people. Your clients, when you wake up in the morning as a leader, your clients, when you go to work, are your team members, right? Right? So those are your clients. You serve them, they serve your customer, your business customers. You serve them very well, they serve your customers very well. You serve them very bad, they take it out on your business customers. You need to love people, guys. Leadership is people. If you lead and there's no one following, you are not leading, you are taking a stroll. You need to love people. Now you are a leader that people like and care about, but you need to care about people. Leadership is people. You don't lead machines. You don't lead systems and processes. You lead people, which means you need to have the heart for people, right? Leadership is influence, and you cannot influence somebody that you always antagonize and threaten. There is just no way you're going to lead a person that you always antagonize. It's just no way. You'll be level 1. You'll be positioned. They'll do what you say they do. because they don't have a choice, not because I'm willing to move mountains for you. They won't take initiative. They won't go an extra mile for you, right? My salary ends at 4 o'clock. That's it. You want me to work overtime? You need to pay me overtime. My salary, I get you, we are applying rules. I get you, we are on a rules basis here. So don't ask me to work overtime because my contract doesn't allow me to work overtime. There's no overtime in my contract because if you're gonna work using rules, let's stick to the rules. But if you build relationships with people, right, and they like the vision that you are selling to them, they buy into it, they'll go an extra mile for you, right? And that's the relationship that you want. Now, you are now into level 2, right? And level 2 leaders, they listen very well, they observe, and they're always learning from their team members, right? Again, we spoke about this. You can't know everything. And in fact, sometimes you want your team members to have their inputs in so that they can feel part of the process, right? So as a leader on level 2, you listen. You know, you say, oh, he listens so well, right? That's influence. You are able to listen, you are able to observe, and you're able to learn from them. Level 2 leaders are servant leaders, right? Remember, it's relationships. You are building relationships with these people. So you serve them. You come to the office with Lele Magwenya or cupcakes or whatever. Guys, I know we have a huge target today. I brought you this thing. Here's coffee. Let's go to work. I'm saving you. I am making your work less stressful, right? I'm making your work more enjoyable because I know if you have fun, if you enjoy what you are doing, you are likely to be more productive. Not this thing that we are here to work. There's no time to laugh and smile. We are here to work. And it's as if it's like a tense environment. I can tell you now, if the productivity and innovation don't thrive in a tense environment where we are not allowed to have fun. What I do know is creativity thrives when we have fun, when productivity increases when we have fun. Time flies when we have fun, right? So you want to be that leader that creates that relationship with your team members to have fun while they're doing their work. And that takes relationships, fundamental. So level 2 leaders, they know how to serve, they do serve, and they love to serve. I want my team to feel productive. And what do I need to do, right? So it's important that you do. The measure of a leader is not in the number of people that serves him. It's in the number of people he serves. So when you wake up in the morning, you need to be asking yourself, how many people do I serve when I get to the office? Do you bring tea for everybody? Or when you walk in, they bring tea to you, right? So it's a subtle difference. It's a huge difference, right? Do you go out there? People are like, I have an open door. You are welcome. Why do you even need an office? Why do you even need a door? Why are you not with the people? Why should people come to you, right? You don't need an open door. You usually don't need a door at all. You don't even need an office. Be where the people are. Go out there, build relationship with your team members, serve them. Your office is you serving them, not the other way around, right? So permission, leaders, they make work enjoyable, right? I need to laugh. I do this thing for a living. I do this workshop for a living. I told myself, if I'm going to do this every day for a living, I'm going to have to have fun. That's a decision I made, right? If you guys are not going to have fun, it's on you. I'm going to have fun. I took that decision a long time ago that I'm going to have fun when I'm doing. I'm going to crack jokes. I'm going to use silly examples. That's me laughing at myself. That's me having fun. And when I do that, I enjoy this, right? We can sit here 2 hours, 3 hours straight on because I enjoy doing this. And the next thing, time flies, right? But also, you know, you increase the energy levels. People get excited by this. They get excited by the work and they're energized by the work, right? Because they enjoy coming to work. Thank God it's Monday. Oh no, it's Friday. You want that type of a team that looks forward to coming to work. Research shows that a lot of people commit suicide Monday between 3 and 6 in the morning, right? Monday, early hours between 3 and 6, a lot of suicide happen during that time. Why? Because it's the time where you have to wake up and go to work. And the thought of going back to that place, it drives you insane. You don't want that. When you are a leader, you are responsible for people's mental health, emotional health. You can't lead people that you always antagonize. Now, tips to move to the next level, you need to have the right attitude towards people. If you don't love people, please stay away from leadership positions. We see it all the time when people who are in leadership positions and they are monsters in those positions. We see it all the time. And you can tell, why are you even here? Why are you even doing this work? You don't belong here. You don't belong here. There's a waiter who's serving you. His attitude is bad. She doesn't belong here. Why are you doing this? Because you can see you are misplaced. You don't love. And as a result, we bring the monster out of you. If you don't like people and you find yourself in a leadership position, it's going to bring the monster in. You're going to be this person, this evil person. And people will start giving you code names. When you get to the office, they'll start giving you code names. Godzilla is in the house. And you start behaving very weird. And you won't understand why. Because you are Godzilla. Your attitude is terrible. And they'll start giving you all these names that you don't even know. Right? Connect with your self-awareness, self-image, self-honesty. Again, right? Make sure that you know you have the right attitude towards people or not. Introspect. Number 3, understand where you're coming from and where your team comes from. We might be coming from different backgrounds. Understand that people don't see the world the same way. Other people come from poor backgrounds. You might come from a privileged background. Be sensitive to that you can't crack jokes that sometimes might be offensive to other people. Express value for each person on your team. You guys are amazing. I love you. I love working with you guys. You are always here on time. I appreciate that. Your attention to detail is amazing. Thank you. Keep it up. Each person, appreciate them for the value that they bring to the team. Express it verbally to them to say, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are rock stars. You create, I wouldn't have done this without you, right? You're connecting with your team members. Evaluate where you are with your team. There are certain things you can't do if you have not built the trust with your team, right? Make sure that you know where your trust levels are with your team. Accept the whole person as part of leading. Some people are strong in one area, they're weak in other areas. You can't say I just want your hands. I'm not asking you for your feelings and your emotions. People are a package. They go through stuff in their personal lives, right? You're not going to come in. I don't pay you to bring your problems here at work. No, you can't. Then you are level 1, your position. Level 2, you need to understand that people go through stuff. It's life. It happens. You also go through stuff. We all go through stuff. So I'll accept the whole person as part of leading. Make fun a goal at work. We need to have fun. We need to look forward to coming to work. We need to smile. We need to laugh. We can't leave our laughter and our smiles at the gate when we come in, right? We need to laugh. We need to have fun. Make fun a goal at work. Give people your undivided attention, right? You can't be talking on the phone doing this and this person has got an issue. Drop everything. Tell your PA to stop all the calls. Put your phone on silent. What's the issue, Seppo? Let's talk. I'm here, right? Give them your undivided attention. You listen well. That's your character. Be your team's encourager-in-chief. When all the chips are down and we have lost an account, you are the one who says, guys, let's brush ourselves off. We can do it. We are far much bigger than this. We are more talented than this. Let's go out there. Let's go and kill this thing, right? You become the encourager-in-chief, right? You are the ones who raises their spirits when they're feeling down. When they feel like they're going through a rough patch, you are the one who encourages them. Practice care and honesty. Yes, be honest with their weaknesses, but also show that you care and you want to help them improve on their weaknesses, right? Caring and connecting emotionally is not an excuse for you to accept average and mediocre productivity. There is no excuse for average, but also it doesn't mean if you want the best out of your team members, you need to be less human. You can get the two together at the same time. So you can't like people, you can like people without leading them, but you cannot lead people without liking them. Again, if you know that people are a no-no for you, stay away from leadership, right? So as you take heart, leadership is about taking heart before taking the hand. So in other words, you need to connect with people first before you ask them to produce results, right? People need to know how much you care about them so that they can care about you, so that they can give you your results, right? So it's heart before hands. Practical steps to move to the next level: be genuinely interested in other people. Leadership is people. Smile, show friendliness, remember people's names, be a good listener, talk in terms of other people's interest. In fact, this comes from Dale Carnegie's book, Win Friends, and How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? Talk in terms of other people, remember people's names, call them by their names. Pule, I love, the Zulus, they love you even if you call them by their Isitagazel. Oh, my word, oh, boya benyati, oh, Ndlovu, hey, Makep. They will love you to bits. So call people by those names. Some people have got pet names, some people have got AKA names, whatever. Show interest in people and, remember their names and also talk in their best interest. Number 3, right? Now we are producing results. Production. People follow you because you kick ass. Because if I work under you, I'm going to be the best, right, in my game. So people follow you in order to be productive. Here we want results, right? Here we go to war with you. We are willing to die with you. We go to war with you. Because if I go to war with you, I know I'm going to be victorious. Here you are a leader that is what we call a travel agent leader, not a tour guide leader. Travel agents, they go with you. Travel agents, they send you to places they've never been before. Tour guide leaders, they go with you, right? Let me show you, right? Today, guys, we are working overtime. I'm gonna be there with you. You don't say, guys, you work overtime, I'm knocking off at 4, right? You're not sending people to where you have never been, right? So you want to be what we call a tour guide leader. Follow me, let me show you. Let me show you how to kick ass. Let me show you how to produce results. 10 tips here. You be the team member you want in your team. You want people to work hard, you work hard. You want people to work long hours, you work long hours. You want people to come early to work, you come early to work, right? Translate personal productivity into leadership. Personally you kick ass. Your job is to translate that into a leadership where you can produce other people who can kick ass too. Number 3, understand everyone's productivity niche, right? Someone is very good at this area and bad at that area. This one is good at this area. Work towards their productivity niches. Don't try and put people in positions where they're not productive. Nancy is an introvert, but you're putting her as a receptionist, a recipe for disaster, right? You need to put her somewhere where she can work with counting numbers and as an accountant. Past vision continuously. As you are pushing your team members to work hard, remind them of the vision. Guys, don't forget, this is what we are moving towards, right? Build your team. Always have team building exercises, because if you push your team members to produce results and you neglect their relationship, they'll start thinking the only thing that you care about is the results. You don't care about them, right? So you continuously need to build the team. Use momentum to solve problems. We solve these problems. Great stuff, guys. Let's celebrate. Monday morning, we are going for a bigger program. Recognize how each team member affects each other, right? If there are any rotten apples, pick it up early, put it aside, have a difficult conversation. Again, Pareto principles. With black people, if you look very nice, and you say, today you look, it's like, what's happening, right? Her energy levels, her confidence levels move up. For that little thing that I did has an impact of 80% productivity on her day, and she's able to reach and move an extra mile because I complimented her in the morning. It's a part of, you need to know, if I do this little thing for my team members, I'm going to get extra results. Accept your role as a change agent, right? You are the one who's responsible to drive change. But as you are pushing for results, for productivity, don't neglect level 2, don't neglect relationships. I love you guys. You are amazing. We have this goal. Let's all work extra hard this weekend so that we can reach this goal. Don't just say, yeah, you guys are lazy. I've been telling you all, relationships are as critical because you want these people to be on your side. You want these people to go to war with you. You don't want people who don't want to go to war, but because you threaten them, they go to war. The first bullets, they're out because you have not built that relationship with them. Number 4, people development. The role here, you got the position, you have built the permission, you have built that relationship with them. They know that you care about them, they care about you. We now need to kick ass, guys. We need to deliver results. We need to make those sales targets. We need to move mountains. We need to walk on water. We need to produce miracles here. That's level 3. Level 4 is you are now, because you have been producing results, you are able to start seeing potential in other people. Your job is to then create other leaders. The role of a leader is not to produce more followers. The role of a leader is to produce more leaders. Commit yourselves to developing people in organization. And this doesn't have to be an expensive exercise. Monday mornings, we all have a check-in and we talk about how to better ourselves. People development, right? What happened last week, guys? Oh, this went wrong. Let's have a meeting. How can we prevent it? Benchmark way of doing it. I'm going to call someone to come and talk to you, a specialist to come and talk to you. That's people develop. You are developing your people. Don't come with, then I train them and they leave. No, if they leave, great, but your system of developing people improves, right? When we grow the company by growing the business, by growing the people, sorry. As your people grow, they make better decisions, the business grows. So it's important that you always train up your people so that they can make better decisions. Again, it's relationships. And when you look back in your career and you say, who was my best leader that I've worked for, right? And we have done this exercise where we ask entrepreneurs, who is the best manager or the best leader that you have worked for and why? And they'll come up with names, Dave or whoever, and we ask them why. Because he believed in me when no one believed in me, because when I made a mistake, I thought it was the end, I'm going to be fired. He came and says, no, don't worry. We all make mistakes, brush yourself, pick yourself up, lift your head and face the world. Because when I was struggling with something, he was there to support me. Because when I was down, I had a family crisis, he came back at home, he met my parents, he supported me. Because we always have that one leader or that one manager that will always remember 20, 50 years from when we have left the organization. And we always remember them for what they've done for us. Why can't you be that leader to your team members? Why can't you be there when they've made a mistake? Why can't you, like Dave, who was able to overlook your mistake and encourage you to learn from it? Why can't you do the same with your team members? Why can't we be the leaders that our best leaders were to us, right? So, and that's what's important. You want to be that leader, that, the best leader that was there for you, which means that when you recruit people, you don't just look for people who are good for the job, but you also need to look at people who are going to be good for the team dynamics, but also good for the culture. What values, we spoke about brand values, what values have we identified? Does this person that we're interviewing fall within the values that we're trying to build, the culture that we're trying to build, right? And are they in the right position? And are they equipped? Have we trained them? Have we, Matebo spoke about, they sit with me on my desk, I show them. Have we equipped them? Have we shown them how this thing is done? 10 tips to move to the next level. Be willing to keep growing yourself as a leader so that you also can grow other leaders, right? Decide that people are worth the effort, they are worth the investment, they are worth you training them, they are worth you equipping them, they are worth the time you investing in them. Work through your insecurities. If you know that you have insecurities, you don't want other people to be better than you, you are afraid if other people are better than you, they're going to steal the spotlight, work through those insecurities, right? Because the role of a leader is to produce other leaders. And sometimes those leaders can be far much better leaders than you. You need to be willing to accept that that's a possibility. Work through those insecurities. Recruit the best people you want to develop. Spend time needed to develop your leaders. Monday mornings, 8 to 9, we have a team development meeting, or Friday afternoons when it's low time, we're not busy, we have team sessions where we discuss best practice. And then create personal development process. For each and every of your team members, they need to have a PDP, right? They're here, maybe some of them don't have matric, maybe you can pay for them to go to night school or whatever, the way they can improve themselves. Have personal development plans for your team members. Never work alone, right? As part of you handing over, as part of you empowering your team member, take them to meetings, even if they just sit and listen and take notes, whatever, but always involve them in what you do. That way they're able to see, they're able to learn, all right? Blend soft skills and hard skills. Yes, be soft, but also be hard when it's necessary. When they drop the ball, be hard on them. But in you being hard on them, remind them that you love them as well. You are not just being hard for the sake of being hard, but you are being hard because you want them to be the best at the same time. Take responsibility for energizing your team. Remain approachable as a leader, a role model, a coach, and a mentor. Because as you develop people, you are those positions. You are a role model, you are a coach, you are a mentor. And of course, the last level is pinnacle. This is at the top. Quite frankly, for me, if you can get to level 4, I'm very happy, right? Level 5 is for those few people who get to level 5. People follow you because of who you are and what you represent. And it takes a long time to get here, right? Your Mandelas, your Martin Luther Kings, people who are respected across political, cultural, religious affiliations. Those are pinnacle leaders. Here, remain humble and teachable, right? Don't be arrogant and say, you know who I am, Be humble, be teachable, maintain a core focus. If you know you're very good at a specific area, maintain that, right? Don't try and do other things that are outside of your core focus. Create the right inner circle, right? Create people, an inner circle of people. Most importantly, I'm reading a book by this young chap who was a billionaire and died a very tragic death. It comes out that his inner circle were actually people who were afraid to tell him when he's wrong. And as a result, he ended up making bad decisions that actually drove him to his demise. Always have people who, a mentor, someone who can tell you when you are wrong. Always have an accountability partner, right? Even when you are successful as a CEO or as a leader. Number 4, do what only you can do. Don't try and express opinions on things that you don't know anything about, right? Number 5, create a supercharged leadership development environment, right? And then create room at the top. Don't hog the space. And I'm the only woman, or I'm the only Black person, I'm the only this. Create room, pull others to join you at the top. Develop your top leaders, plan for succession, plan for your legacy. We're not going to live forever. At some point, we're going to check out. Make sure that when you check out, you have a good legacy that you're leaving behind, and use your leadership success as a platform for something greater. So that's the 5 levels: position, permission, production, people, and pinnacle, or what we call personhood. If you want more, you can get a book by John Maxwell. Thank you so much. Woo. Questions, comments? I'm done.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Rosh. I think, as per usual, a very insightful, very impactful session, and I'm sure we can take a few questions, maybe 2, just in the interest of time, and then the rest of the questions can be placed in the chat box. We can share those questions with you for answering once you find an opportunity. But maybe let's just take 2 questions from the floor. So those who are without questions, you're more than welcome to just share thoughts, your feedback in the chat box as well. Okay, so Dr. Roche, there is a lot of thank yous that are coming through. The session was impactful, valuable, very enlightening, so empowering, as per usual. But really, thank you once again, Dr. Roche. You know, we definitely will note the questions that come through, and like I said, we'll share some of those with you. So that's really it from Dr. Roche's end. Ladies, and if there are no further questions, he probably will drop off, and then we will have about 5 minutes just to cover brief for the pitching challenge.
Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roche. Great, ladies. So Dr. Roche has jumped off, which is okay. I will take this opportunity to just share very briefly with you in terms of the upcoming pitching challenge. The scope or the criterion was shared earlier on in the week. So perhaps if you do have any questions, please raise those questions. But essentially from time to time, Wenosa creates a platform that allows for women entrepreneurs to pitch their businesses to an independent panel for their chance to secure seed capital funding. So the submissions, as you would have noted on the criterion, is on the 27th of July, so about a week or so from today. And then, of course, the responses will be provided by the 31st of July. Maybe then just to find out, were there any questions as you read through the criterion? If any, you can just come in and state your questions or pose your questions. Okay, so I'm going to take it that the criterion was quite straightforward, that okay, the pointers were understood, etc., which is fantastic. So yes, so ladies, submissions are due on the 27th of July. We really, really, really encourage that you participate. And then, of course, if you do get shortlisted to the next round, which is the pitching session itself, you will be contacted by the 31st of July. Our pitching sessions, well, this particular pitching session will be held on the 3rd of August, and they usually take place between 5 and 7 p.m. During this time, each participant is allocated about 10 to 15 minutes for their pitch, and that obviously also includes feedback from the panel. But really the point here is encouraging you to please send your submissions. We really would love to hear from you where this is concerned. And then really, as we just before we adjourn this meeting, I do want to state that we have noted all the questions, the comments. Thank you so much for your engagement throughout the workshop. I know there was a request to say, how do we ensure that the team that is on the call stays connected? We are considering perhaps creating a WhatsApp group just to ensure that, you know, we maintain this connection. But outside of that, there are other events that we will host. So for instance, we do have an information session coming up in November, and that will be in contact. So we really hope to have you there on the day, and obviously the dates will be confirmed in due time. There was also, I think, a question around do we have, other programs where this is concerned, or the training is concerned? And I did mention in the chat box that this is, in fact, the last workshop that we have for the year, which will be followed by the information session. But also, the organization is working very hard to develop a more comprehensive program, and the program itself will be outlined when we meet for the information session in November. So if there aren't any further questions, if there are, please come in and speak. But if there aren't any further questions, just a reminder to please share your thoughts, feedback with us via social media. Do tag us, and we'd be very happy to engage with your posts as well. And again, thank you for setting time aside to attend the session. Based off of some of the feedback that has been shared, we really do take it that it has been insightful, it has been impactful as well. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I have a question.
Yes, you can come in.
Yes, Matsepo here. Regarding the pitching presentation, is there a template for the slides, or do we create our own? And then is there a limit for the number of slides per presentation?
Okay, thanks for the question, Matsepo. So you will see that as part of the criterion, we have included a rubric. So this rubric should be used to guide you in terms of what you ought to prepare for the pitch. And like I mentioned, if you can, please limit your slides to 7 minutes. So I think 7 minutes takes us to about 8 or so slides, if I'm not mistaken, but limited to 8 minutes just to also allow time for feedback. So there isn't necessarily a template that would come from our end, but I suppose the expectation perhaps is that, as a business, there are or is a PowerPoint template that you from, and please just use your customized PowerPoint template to present.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Matsepo. Any other questions? Okay, it seems none. So thank you once again, ladies. And yes, we hope to meet you in person when we do meet for the information session in November. Obviously, before that, we will follow this call up with an email that provides you with the learning material covered today, that provides you with the recording of today's session, a reminder just in terms of your pitching submissions. And then we would like to also feature you as part of our Shepreneur series, feature your businesses, promote your businesses, and that information will also be outlined when we do send the email. So have a great day and chat soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.